Hello, Howlers, and welcome to the final before the new book spoiler talk for the Red Rising reread. I am joined, as always, by just the most magnificent duo out there in Red Rising land. She is the Sovereign, Erin Alloon, and he is Howler 2, I guess you say, Ben Albarca, HowlerPod. Guys, how are you this evening?
Why do you get to be Howler too?
You got to be the Sovereign. It's not
No,
a bad
last time
trade-off.
she was mad because you got to be a Barca. So yeah.
We're always going to be mad about
We are
something.
good. We are good. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, how are you?
I am so excited because cat out of the bag. I've been reading the new book early because I'm lucky. I'm very lucky. I'm very, very fortunate. I got to talk to Pierce since last time that we had one of these things here. So I'm up there with you guys now. I'm on the scoreboard now. I've gotten
to yeah, we really enjoyed that.
He didn't have quite as good of a one-liner as he had with you guys at one time. We said, "What can Brown do for you?" I thought that was perfect, but he has some good ones in there. He has some really, really good ones in there. But it was a lot of fun for me. But I got to say, this was kind of full circle for me because I discovered you guys' podcast when I finished reading this book, and I was like, no one else I knew was reading the sequels yet. So I had to find an outlet, and I found you guys' podcast.
That's why we're here.
And Erin, now correct me if I'm wrong, and time might be a healer on this, but I remember it was a lot of Ben convincing you to keep going. It was a lot of you.
Yeah, Dark Age.
I don't like this. Yeah,
Dark Age was tough for me. It was pretty. It made me feel bad.
It made me feel bad the second read too. I think that's just the book. I tell people that you need to be in a good place when you read this. So one of my best friends, Madison, she said, she's like, that's one of the best books I've ever read, but I hope I never have to read it again.
Yeah.
And I get that.
It does get easier on a reread, I think, just because you're ready for all the horrifying,
all the swimming through the mud. Yeah. So you feel like time's been a healer for you? Do you like it a little more now?
I do still like kind of reluctantly go back into it. But it does, when you reread it, you realize all the like upbeat fun parts, the humor, the relationships. It's not all doom and gloom, but like all I like remember is feeling
those gut punches. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I tell people this is almost a part like, look, if you make it this far, I don't feel like you can eject, but I know there were some people that were like, parts 1 and 2 of this were just so damn depressing. They're like, I can't. It's just like affecting my mood.
Yeah.
I'm like, stick with it. It's worth it. But I get it. And I got that a lot with a lot of the first time readers that did this with me this time.
You have to sit in Darrow's shit for like way too long, but I really enjoy Virginia's chapters and how smart she is.
Right. We get Virginia as a POV character this time. And I think something that was really my first memory really of this book is that I was kind of not, let's say indifferent, because I don't feel like he writes any characters I'm really indifferent to, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Virginia, but I didn't dislike her. But this is the book that made me, okay, Virginia, she's a badass. I like her now. I think this is the book for me where it's like her coming out. So if a book is an MVP of this book, I think it's probably her. I think she has some of the best stuff, especially if you're into like Song of Ice and Fire politics and stuff. I think the stuff in the Senate is just amazing. The Day of the Red Doves is right up there with the Gold Wedding and the Red Wedding. I think it's amazing stuff. So I really appreciate that he gave us that extra POV character in this one because I felt like it helped a lot.
And then, sorry, you're not allowed to talk apparently. I also wanted to say
go ahead, Erin.
That Dark Age I think was extra tough for me because I'm really bad at geography and you're going to so many places during the war. So I think on a reread and like looking at the map more, it's easier to start figuring out like, oh, they thought Ajax was here, but now he's here, and where's Alexander? Like after a reread, you can kind of, if you're bad at geography, it's easier to like place where people are on the
I definitely experienced that on my latest reread, just because I think the first time I read it, I was like, I'm just speeding through this. I don't want to flip back and like look at the map. So I'm just like, I'm trying to read this as fast as I can. And I got kind of lost at times. I was like, I don't know where we are, and like I don't know how this is making any sense. How far apart are people? But this time I actually I looked at the map before the Battle of Mercury, or like the Ash Rain, and then I like went back to it several times and then kind of like followed the track, and I was like, oh, I should probably have done this the first time.
We need to print it on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people will say this is either their favorite book or their least favorite. It seems like this is the one I see with most divisive, but it seems like the people that do finish it end up really liking it, and they look back on it with some fondness. And if you're like me and you're like Ben, you're a big Cassius fan, I'm sure this is one that has a very, very special place for you, because I won't lie. I don't want to jump to the end there, but yeah, I shouted out loud when Cassius was alive, because I had accepted Pierce isn't going to bullshit you. He's the type, he kills a character, that's it. It's done. So while I said no body, no dead, because that's just the rules of sci-fi, I was also like, yeah, Pierce also likes to hurt us.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe he might actually be. So,
I was definitely holding out hope, like hardcore, that
I knew the whole time.
Yeah. she got the book and immediately like did a Kindle search for his name. So
That's wild.
And then I was like, I know something you don't know.
So I'll say that when I did this, I tried to put together notes for this, guys. But this one's just so long. If we went through it beat by beat, this would be like 5 hours long. And I know that they've got stuff to do. They've got whiskey to drink. They've got other books to read and talk about. But we're going to try to do what we can. But please, guys, interject anything that I'm passing over that you want to talk about in the comments, or my amazing co-hosts here who probably will remember way more than me, or probably understand things way more than me. Because I'm going to be honest. The Figment stuff still a little bit over my head a little bit.
Figmentum.
Yeah.
We can kind of get into that. But I like that we start. I guess you call it a prelude to the POV, and that's where you get the endure speech, right, Virginia? I felt like that kind of set the tone right away. I like that.
Oh, definitely. You're like, this is gonna be some pain, I feel like.
Yeah,
set the tone quick.
Sets you up for some heartbreak on all sides.
But the prologue is rescuing Orion, who you see is
that prologue is down and dirty.
Yeah, well, we lose a dear friend of mine, Tongueless.
Yes,
that was in the prologue. See, I couldn't even remember if that was the prologue or if that was Act 1. Yeah, it starts.
And he
off
released
so
the prologue before the book, so we all read it and we were like, "Fuck!"
It's so moody and just like immediately you're like, "Oh shit, this is not good."
Flailing.
Oh, whatever, Alex. I was surprised how lighthearted Dark Age was. So many heartwarming moments. I remember one of his first videos is him reacting to the audiobook of the meat carpet part.
I will say I went through on my last reread and I was like, I'm going to specifically, and I just did this like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm going to read Dark Age and I'm going to highlight in my Kindle like every single like lighthearted, like happy, fun moment. And there are actually a lot of them throughout the book, and even like peppered into the really terrible shit. There's a lot of like really fun stuff going on, like good, especially like good dialogue and jokes. So you do kind of have to look for it, and like if you can look past the gut punches, then I think there's a lot of that there. But at first, especially on first blink, like with this book, it's tough to for that stuff to be the lasting impression. It's the other stuff that is.
It's tough when our protagonist is just doing so terribly.
Right. By the end of that first part, I feel like he's in a much better place. He's kind of like figured some stuff out.
Well, yeah, like crushing Lysander's face will make anybody feel better, right?
He doesn't even know it's him. He's like,
yeah, that's the best part. It's like basically it's like I'm ready to kill you. You took everything from me. He's like, I don't even know who you are. It's basically like that.
Yeah. But like the kind of the juxtaposition of him like finishing that first ash rain, like holding them off, destroying like 9 million people in their army or whatever. It was some kind of like astronomical thing. And him like walking into that meeting with Atalantia, and he's like, I fucked you up. But then her immediately delivering the news that like the Day of Red Doves happens. Yeah. It's just
your
like,
wife's dead.
Shit. And that's what this book does to you constantly. Like it gives you a little bit and then it just takes away so much.
Yeah, you were just talking about how, I can go through and I can highlight all the good moments, but the punchline is that they're not good moments at the end.
Right.
Give it a couple more pages. I agree with Brent here. I think that's right away. Like, okay, so not only we're going to kill off Orion and Tongueless here really, really early, but Orion's going to kill a couple million people before she goes. And Darrow is the one who has to do it. That always makes it, harder that, he's the one who has to pull the switch on her, basically. So
maybe don't give her the Storm God. I don't know.
I mean, to me, it was clear. This is like, somebody
Bad
just
decision.
got tortured for years in prison, and we're just going to immediately put him back out there on the job. Why not? Yeah.
Maybe she's not ready.
It does a lot to like increase the Fear Knight's reputation in our eyes as the reader. I feel like just know how much he like psychologically messed up Orion and like pretty much broke her. And I feel like when you don't get him, you kind of more are just hearing about him in the first 16 chapters of the book or so. That does a lot to just be like, oh wow, that guy's scary.
And then you get pulls up butts.
Yeah, exactly.
Over and over again.
What do you guys think about the Storm God stuff? I thought that was pretty wicked.
Oh, it was awesome.
Oh, amazing, yeah.
And I mean, Gil Rasty's like obviously know what happens with Gil Rasty's
Yes, Jamaica.
book, but yeah, I don't know. That was a character that like I was like, did they mention him before they done this reread? I'm like, yeah, they mentioned him before, but it just seemed like when I was reading this first one, I was like, who the hell is this? I don't know who this is.
Right.
You know, I think it's because we don't see a lot of oranges in this story. So interesting character, even though, like I said,
and Harnassus goes from red to orange.
He gets gaslit a lot, you know. He gets gaslit by Lysander a lot. So I can't really blame him for everything, but you know, at least he's doing stuff. He's creating like these weapons that are gonna, you know, destroy planets. No big deal. But we got in this first part. I mean, we get an Iron Rain. We get all kinds. This first part, I don't know. Everybody puts parts 1 and 2 are very, very tough. I don't know. Part 1 is like
it's just like
what you expect in a Red Rising book, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like people kind of loop it in with there because it does kind of start a little sluggish, and I really just anytime you're marooned on Mercury, I feel like people kind of struggle with that bit. And I can get it. I can understand, but
right. And the situation is just hopeless. And you're like,
and then there's
we know this is the beginning of the book, so we're like, Darrow's gonna get out of this somehow, but we also know that he's gonna get punished for it, like big time, probably.
And everyone's gonna die
knowing
around
Pierce.
him.
Yeah. So
I'm surprised Rona didn't die.
Is that's how you refer to Lysander, light resistance?
Yes.
So good.
I mean, that is the best transition in any of these books when it's like
Lysander's eyes melting and bubbling, and then the next chapter is Darrow, and it's like they brushed away light resistance.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Lysander's
like that they did that in the first part. It's just Darrow and Lysander. No other characters. Like that's the only 2 POV characters.
I thought it fit.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Part
I thought
1.
it fit well just for that specific, like he's showing us that ash rain on Mercury. That's like the biggest thing going on in the solar system. So I feel like it was effective, and I liked the back and forth between 2 of them, so we could see both sides of it.
It would have felt more disconnected if we dropped Virginia or Ephraim in there.
Yeah.
I'd say the part that shocked me the most, part 1 though, was Seraphina. They were setting up Seraphina. I don't know if she was. I meant to ask him when I talked to him if Seraphina was a hat trick, but they just said like that was just like showing how random war is. You know, just shit happens. You know, and I felt like they were setting up like to be like this major power couple, like Lysander and Seraphina eventually. And nope, dead. Just so random.
He could never handle her, I feel like.
I'm glad she got rail slugged.
Oh, for sure. She was horrible.
Check this out.
We were like, oh shit. Like, no.
Oh, I didn't feel bad about it. I just want to opine that Darrow is 100% justified in every choice he makes in the entire sequel trilogy. People blame him for valid choices based on imperfect information. Wolfgar would disagree. But hey, that's still my boy, you know?
Yeah.
That's what makes
I love Darrow. I'm not sure I can justify every decision that he makes, but
oh no,
he gets pretty gloomy in this book.
That is one thing that I picked up on this that I thought was really great, picked up in this last reread, is just like how Mustang comes to start understanding Darrow and like how difficult the decisions that he has to make are, and there's never a right decision really. It's just like you're just making a decision that you think is best, and then at the end, Pax starts understanding that. Like he talks to how he starts understanding how his dad has to make those decisions and how terrible it must be, and empathizing. So I think that was one thing I really picked up on, and just like how difficult this role that Darrow has taken on is. And then just like, I like that people are starting to understand that really he can't make a right decision. There's just in the moment.
Especially when he has 0 cards.
Right.
Except for the storm guards.
And I think several would argue he makes the wrong decision when it comes to family every single time. So
yeah,
there's that as well.
Yeah, but you could also abandon your entire army to die.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
and lose a
throw
whole
that
planet
back at Severo for sure. Yeah.
The Fear Knight is my favorite villain. His chapters make me horribly curious about him. That Ajax? Is that Ajax?
It's Atlas.
Atlas. I always get the names flipped.
Yep.
There's a lot of A words in this book. Now you're saying
There's
you
a lot
struggle
of
with
A
geography,
names.
Aaron. With me, sometimes it's the family trees. I'm like,
I can't remember the people. I can't remember where they are.
Atlas Aura.
Lightbringer has a
Ajax,
dramatis at the beginning of it. I keep flipping back all the time. Like, wait, who's Cicero? I can't remember who some of these people are sometimes. So yeah, it does happen, especially when a lot of them all start with A and end with A or end with X. You know, it's it does happen. I love this one. Yeah, the interaction between Darrow and the other Lycos held over. It's like someone that was in that was in the first book, and he like gives them some red dirt from Mars. Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
it's a Dago.
He gives him the dirt.
Yeah, he gives him his dirt.
My only struggle was how small the font was. That's the thing, is that book is 704 pages and the font is super tiny. So, yeah, Brandon Sanderson book, this would be about 1,300 pages, no doubt. And I'll tell you guys, one spoiler, Lightbringer's longer.
Nice.
Yeah.
I figured it would be.
That'd be good news for some people and maybe not so much for others.
Well, it was so long, it's now 2 books, so.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. So part 2 is called Craft. This is really the political part, I'd say, because this is the most, like, I thought the last book started really getting into the family houses and the warring and stuff like that, the backroom kind of politics of the houses. This is really just like straight and like the Vox Populi and all that stuff. This is terrific stuff. So, I mean, if you're into that, I think this part's going to really work for you. But the feedback I got was part 2 was the part that people struggle with the most, but it seemed like it was more the stuff on Mercury than it was really what was going on with Virginia. But her trying to get the votes to aid Darrow, and I guess you say somewhat of like a mini redemption for Dancer, sorta, kind of,
right?
Yeah. Well,
almost
a quick-lived redemption
for like less than 24 hours.
He didn't really follow through because he, choked on his blood and died.
No, he's giving his speech, and then it's like fucking chaos for like the next like 25 pages.
And it's hard to read.
Yeah. Some really great Daxo characterization in the first part of this, for sure.
Which is a tell that he's going to die.
Yeah, we should have known.
I brought this up when I talked to Pierce Brown, was that one of my theories the whole time was in Morningstar, Octavia tells him, do not kill Daxo. And so I always just thought, oh, he must be in cahoots
I was
somehow.
so glad you asked that. Yeah.
I got to this chapter and I was like, well, nope. And Pierce just said, no, they just didn't want him to kill off another family line. That's really what it was. And I was like, me digging. This is why I don't try not to go too much into the theory crafting, because I'm always wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daxo. So we see that it was Lilith. Did anybody pull that card that it was going to be Lilith?
No, we guessed before we first read it. We guessed like Sephi. We guessed.
I think.
Who else do we guess?
I kind of thought
we were guessing like Harmony.
Volga was going to be the shocker.
Like yeah.
So yeah, we didn't.
We definitely didn't see.
I think
Lilith
we like forgot about Lilith.
Yeah.
Well, she was dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Or in Deep Grave, maybe. Or
no, she's crashed into the moon. Well, she's supposed to be dead.
Right.
She was doing
the body.
Morningstar. Yeah. That was the last we saw her. But I had this weird thing that was Volga, just because I like Volga, and I was like, how else can he hurt me?
If I had a muffin, I would eat it.
Yeah.
She could never.
Volga is just incredibly
How
cute
dare you?
in this book.
She could never.
Now Spencer here, he was speed reading the ending today, so you make it in time.
Oh, nice.
For this, nice. And he actually messaged me, "Holy shit, Cassius is alive!" Yes, I feel exactly what you were feeling. Great stuff. So Day of the Red Doves. I mean, anything that I'm leaving out that it's just awesome.
Well, Dax's head
has that amazing art of her just with the razor, like slicing people up. So good.
Yes.
Visceral, scary. Like this was it was so well done. And it was just brutal. Like the whole thing.
Stabbed in the ass and in the cheeks.
Yeah.
Scraping
really
on her cheeks.
She like loses a part of her ear or something, I think, doesn't she? Yeah. Yeah. So to me.
Yeah, her hair's getting ripped out.
The mob mentality of the
entire thing. And then Daxo's head becomes
disconnected from his body. Yeah.
I had to take like a 48-hour break on that one.
It was rough. Yeah.
You were reading it while we were driving to Denver to talk to Pierce Brown.
Right.
And you were like, ugh.
That was the chapter I stopped on before we
talked to him. Yes. I hadn't gotten that.
So was your first question why?
No, and then he asked us like,
well, it was pretty interesting. Like, yeah, we met him like right outside where we were going to interview him because we just happened to be walking by and we were talking, and I don't know how it came up, but it came up where we had just read the Day of Red Doves, and then he asked like where I was at in the book, and I was like right there. I just read it or whatever, and he's like, there's a character that's in there called the Emperor. He's like, what did you think of that character? And I hadn't gotten to that part yet, which is like Abominatrix. And
we didn't
know. I thought it was interesting that he asked me like about what my thoughts were on Abominatrix coming back at that time, because I was wondering if that was like
if he wasn't sure about it.
If he wasn't sure about that decision or not,
or maybe it's the biggest,
or it's like even bigger
surprise
reveal.
Yeah. No, I hadn't gotten that far either.
The thing was, this one had me with my jaw on the floor, but it's a certain tree layer that had me being like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You know, I had like a 2-year-old at the time, and I was like, what are you doing, Pierce?
That one's so tough.
Yeah, yes.
Let's see here. So Ephraim, we haven't talked about Ephraim at all. Okay, so Ephraim gets a ton of development in this book. Now, obviously, we know how it ends. But I know the first time I read it, I really got into all that stuff that Osgood was predicting and all that and all these theories. This is just a fantasy fan of me. This time I'm like, I'm going to get it wrong. So I didn't even really get into it. You guys dig into any of his like prophecies at all or anything like that?
We talked about them on the pod.
Like Osgard.
Yeah.
He's silly. I like that he takes magic mushrooms.
See, I'm just thinking he's like those berries that Ephraim gets high on. And he starts fighting with a mop, which is awesome.
Right.
Yes.
I think he's just permanently high on those things. I don't know. I know people are like, "Oh, he's an oracle. All this stuff's going to come true."
Well, he does kind of predict something.
He does predict a few things, but I think
knows what's going on. But yeah, I think.
The main part of the prediction is like Sephi's going to rise to be queen, and Ephraim's going to watch over the kingdom. So it's like.
That didn't happen.
We know that doesn't happen. So
yep. And if he was such a good prophet, why didn't he see Volsung Fa?
Yeah.
Coming out of the forest.
And I mean, he's a self-admitted
fraud
swindler. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, me and a good friend were arguing about this when it first came out. He doesn't believe that Volga is actually Ragnar's daughter. He doesn't believe that Volsung Fa is actually Ragnar's father. He thinks they're all just so full of shit. That's just their way of getting. Control of the obsidian throne and all that stuff. You guys have any stance on that, or you think?
Well, I think it's not like direct like his dad, his daughter. I think there's a lot of
she's a test tube baby.
There's a lot of test tube Ragnars running around.
But yeah, I think originally when I was reading it back then, when I first read it, I definitely was like, this Volsung Fa dude is full of shit. There's no way that he could be Ragnar's dad. But I think though, like more times I've read it and now that I'm getting closer to it, I think that really is kind of what's going on. And I was basing it more on maybe some like continuity stuff where I thought like Sephi never met their father. And then in this book, she says she does. I thought in a previous book said they hadn't. So I don't know. I think some of that stuff, maybe there was maybe a few like little continuity differences, but I think it is supposed to, I feel like he is supposed to be, they set it up several times in Dark Age that like Pale Horse, who is Volsung Fa, was a Grimace slave who went with the Fear Knight. The Fear Knight implanted him in the Ascomani. So like that's all very much set up multiple times throughout the story. So I think that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Ragnar says father died in Morningstar. I mean,
Right.
Luke thought that his father died in the Clone Wars, right? So I mean, you don't always know the exact truth. Anytime it's a sci-fi or fantasy book, I don't think, but I don't know. It's just like it would feel. I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of cheap now if Pierce was like, just kidding. And I don't feel
right. Like yeah, it seems to make sense with like the way the story is setting up that he would be the dad or would be the grandfather of Volga, dad of Ragnar and Sephi.
Small world.
It is getting a little small.
I will restrain from my fa puns. They're only funny to me.
Nice. Funny.
Master of the flesh chain.
So, are we ready to move on to part 3, treason, which, as I like to call, the part where if you haven't started hating Lysander yet, well, you're gonna. Because I think he just this chapter is just basically this part is just him just gaslighting fucking everybody. He pretends to be someone else, obviously, but boy, does it go Rasties. And then with Alexander, I'm like, oh, please, come on. Snap. Don't take another Arcos from me.
There's plenty of people that still love Lysander even after that, and I'm like,
I don't get it.
Can't do it.
come on, guys.
Oh, I was really enjoying Lysander's chapters on my latest reread up until he walks out of the desert,
time.
and then he starts. Once he gets captured by the Fear Knight, I'm just like, this is the worst motherfucker on the planet. Like, I hate him.
Yeah.
And he just keeps making those types of decisions like over and over and over again, and he starts getting like more full of himself.
Racist.
Yeah. And space racist
And yeah,
at the same time.
him commenting on Rona's like bolts and how she's disgusting.
Disgusting. Yeah, it's bad. And then like this, I was making it through this book pretty well, but then there's just like these 4 gut punches like very close together, but like between Ulysses, Sephi, Ephraim, and Alexander. They all happen like
back to back.
That's like 20 chapters, and it's just so tough to get through that. And you're just like, can I have something good happen, please?
No.
I liked Alexander. I mean, obviously you're Lawrence, related to Lawrence, so obviously I'm going to like the character right away. And I'm like, okay, I got my Arcos back in the story. And then this book, he really starts spending some time on him. I'm really, really liking him. I'm like, this isn't going to end well. I just know it. And I was like, he's just. You saw it's like a train wreck, and you're in slow motion. You can't do anything about it. You just got to watch it.
It's bad.
It's painful. It's painful.
That one definitely, of those 4, hurt the most. Alexander hurts every time, like every time.
And we have no children, so Ulysses was like, damn.
Yeah.
I can understand where the parents are on that one for sure. Yeah.
In a lot of stories like this, the one thing is like, kids are kind of off limit. Nope. And I think what Pierce told me is, that's history. It's just that's stuff that really did happen. So it's pretty messed up. Because I was like, okay, cool. She had her baby and she got away. Oh no, she didn't. Okay.
No, she did not. No, she did not.
Where are we at? So Lilith and the Abomination. Let's talk about the Abominadrius.
Some weird mommy lovers.
I think this is still the only storyline where I'm not quite like 100%.
Yeah, this and Figment are probably the only parts of the book I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this.
This one I like want to reserve judgment until I know what all happens.
Resolves, yeah. I like Figment. I want one.
I do like Figment. Yeah,
I want one in my brain.
I don't dislike Figment. I'm just like, I don't know if that's anything. I don't know. I can't say anything because I have had answers to these things, and I don't want to speculate.
Wow, stop bragging.
You guys want me to FedEx it to you when I'm done?
Yeah, me too.
I just can't believe there are still people out there like, because what we were talking about Jade War by Final Lee before we came on, guys, and I was saying that Hilo did nothing wrong, and to think that there are still people out there that are like Lysander did nothing wrong, I'm like, you're just trying to be a control. You have to be. There's no way. I mean, this is a series that asks you to like people who do unlikable things, but it doesn't ask you to like totally unlikable people. That I don't know. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt for a while. Okay, he's confused. Like I said, he's like Paul Atreides if he had took a different path. But now I'm just like, no, he's just a fucking shitheel. I don't.
I mean, his point of view and reading his chapters, they are some of my favorite chapters, and like I really enjoy his point of view. But I get so mad at him, and I think that's why
bad decisions.
Yeah, I just like
he was brain diddled as a child,
right? But now he's like, he feels like he's like turned into this like righteous dickhead. Yeah, it's just it's very tough.
Dickhead.
Yeah,
that's my New Zealand accent.
Yeah, that bothered me too, and it's like the knowing that Cassius is alive now. You're like, I have a feeling that Lysander is like going to be like just embarrassed to show his face around Cassius should they meet again. But
well, Cassius clearly chose sides there at the end. So.
Yeah, and he chose the right side. Damn it, he chose the right side. I always knew, Ben. I always knew our boy he was coming through.
Yeah,
people are like, why? Even my wife's like, why you like Cassius so much? And I'm like, no, I mean, geez.
He's honorable.
She hasn't read the sequels yet, so I can't really say.
He's a tortured, handsome man.
He has damn perfect blonde curls and square chin. Yeah,
fancy curls.
So I mean, I think it's the Abomination remains to be seen, but then they're like burning the Howlers alive and stuff.
Inside the wolf.
Yeah, that's just
was that
I want to
Clown
think it's
and
almost
Pebble?
like cartoonish villain kind of stuff.
No, it was
It works.
Min. Yeah.
Min. Yeah.
Min and some other unnamed howlers, but Clown and Pebble were Severo.
Oh, with Severo. Okay.
Yeah. It's just I think this time I kind of looked at it a little differently, where it's like I feel like it's a whole new character. It's not really Adrius, and that's kind of what Mustang is trying to worm into his brain. Like, you're not actually Adrius, you don't know anything about him.
You're literally a baby.
Yeah. And what you were raised on, that's not who Adrius actually was.
Right.
And so like you don't even understand who you are technically.
Except for what Lilith has told you.
I kind of like that aspect of it, and looking at it that way is like it's not really the Jackal, it's just like this weird fucking clone of the Jackal that's I don't know. Yeah, it was very surprising when it happened the first time, and I still don't know how I feel about it totally. Like I said, I'd have to just like see where that storyline goes. I'm gonna reserve judgment until I know.
I'm same page. And Madison, look, he would make me question some things. That's all. Okay, he's a beautiful man. He's got a great heart. Right? I do the same thing with Han Solo. Just deal with it. So so did Lyria and Victor kind of team up? I guess you say they kind of have like a sort of team up this book. It's not how it starts, but that's how it ends. We kind of get there. But like I said, I'm like, okay, cool. She's gonna have her baby. And
the Volga Lyria team up is super cute.
Volga Lyria team up to start, and then then it turns into a Volga
them
Lyria
writing their little
Victra.
You like them when they're passing notes in class? That's kind of cute, right? In blood, yeah, that's no big deal. That's just this world. In Pierce Brown's universe, that's just like, do you like me? Check yes or no,
And like it shows growth with Lyria even before she gets Figment, because Volga shot Kavix, so she saw her as like a monster. But I think everyone's growing. All the ladies growing, coming together.
That is one of the few like points in the book where you truly get some kind of like salvation, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, we're getting the bad guys and we're winning something.
And I liked when Harmony,
even though it cost us a baby getting nailed to a tree.
But I liked when Harmony got kicked into the pit viper.
Oh yeah. She got it good. I mean, it didn't make dead babies okay. It didn't make the tree of woe better in hindsight, but at least she got it bad. I like this. Fell in love with Lyria when she was kicking that little girl's teeth. And look, that was the part where I'm like, yes, Victor is being an awful influence on you, and I'm here for it. I love this.
And who doesn't love a jailbreak? And there were like multiple jailbreaks in this storyline.
Yeah. Oh, that is a great part when Lyria spits the acid on Victor's jail cell, and like as soon as that lock like pumps or whatever and it breaks, and you're like, Victor's gonna explode out of there and just deal death on everybody. You're like,
right. So I'm like, look, dead babies obviously bad, but I'm like, Victor Vengeance Tour, very, very good. I can't wait. Yeah. So, I mean, Victor is my favorite, and I think that the fact that what she does in this book just makes it just love her even more. She's just awesome. I love her.
She carried that baby for like 10 months, right?
Oh, she's so awesome in this book. Yeah.
But not very much Harmony love in here. I mean, you guys can forgive Lysander, but you can't forgive Harmony. Okay, I see where it's
No, Harmony lost it when she tried to make Darrow into a like bomber.
Yeah.
Terrorists.
Yeah, that was a little rough.
There's a lot of bad stuff going on with the Red Hand.
So I guess we should talk about Volsung Fa and our poor guy Ephraim. Look, with me, it was like I liked Ephraim okay. I understood where he was coming from in the first book. I was really, really starting to like him in this one. I was okay. This guy's turning a new page.
Ephraim is my soulmate.
You don't have
bad boy.
Redemption arcs, I think, in Dark Age, and I felt like this is what we're getting. We're getting with someone who's becoming a better person, right? Oh, I'm sorry about your heart. I mean, I now just hear the word worthy. There's an NBA player who has a last name like my friend was reading ahead of me. He's like, here, I'm going to spoil the next chapter for you. And he just sends me a picture of this old basketball player, James Worthy, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you'll see. Now I just hear the word worthy and anything. I'm like, PTSD.
Yeah.
Hey, Ephraim was worthy.
He was.
Probably a suicide mission.
At least he took out Xenophon.
Fuck that white.
Yeah.
I think this was the first time in all of these multi-POV books I've been reading where the author actually killed off someone in their POV chapter. Sometimes it happens, but it happens from someone else's point of view, seeing that other POV character. This happening in their POV is like, wow.
Yeah. Even before his heart got ripped out, he was pretty fucked up from the blowing up Xenophon. So.
Oh yeah, I mean he was like
he was already gonna die.
Yeah, he was definitely dying.
Fa just helped him out by letting him know he was worthy.
That was just so metal, and like how Fa just like eclipses his vision, and he's just like half of his face is blown off, and he's just like smiling, eating a heart. What a fucking terrifying monster.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss Ephraim though. He really was like most of the comic relief in Dark Age.
Yeah.
Him and I guess Severo with the tea and the coffee.
Yeah.
I just kind of love how his attempt to be a hero doesn't really work at the end. Yeah, Pierce is very big about no time for heroes, in a time of war, right? I think.
Right.
I know. He really shouldn't have gone.
He really shouldn't have. Freaking Pax.
It didn't help anything. It's okay.
Hindsight is 2020. Oh, we'll see. Now we know that Madison is a Victor stan. I've given both teams up too. Just wow.
Nice.
Okay. All right. No drug.
Lady Victor here.
that's called.
That is.
Wow. Madison, are you drinking? I think Madison had some of those berries. All right.
Nice.
Madison out, Julia.
Definitely. All right. So part 4, Pride. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This was
did we skip over the Blood Eagle, Zephy?
Oh boy,
that was worse than Ephraim.
Yeah, I did.
She wasn't like almost dead when that happened.
Yeah, Fa is just terrifying.
That was
there's the couple scenes with Fa in combat where like the one on Victor's ship where he just like comes up the elevator shaft and then like immediately spears this gold with his armor, and then he's just like
dragging him around.
That visual is just insane.
Yeah.
And then how he just and then he just like completely dismantles Sephi in like 45 seconds.
Yeah, and she was like this great warrior. I guess she was slowly dying from being poisoned.
Even
by
then,
Xenophon,
it's just like it was like butter with her. So
not a great way to die. I think I'd choose getting my heart ripped out over getting bloody.
I just really felt a lot of sadness this time around. Just like, I love the Obsidians and I love their culture, and just like seeing them like turned like that and then being used as like a weapon and turned back into this savage primal group that everybody sees them as, but they're not actually that. Like we all know that's not what they are.
And then all the main Obsidians die.
Yeah, that just made me really sad this time.
Free healed and I guess what's the guy's name with the ponytail?
He
cut it off.
There's so many deaths in the book. I'm forgetting people.
The Unshorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Why can't I remember? Valdir.
Yeah. He lived, right?
He supposedly got away.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see Valdir come back, I guess. Right, Mike?
I forgot to tell you guys, that's the new POV character. At least Ephraim went out with a hearty meal. Come on, Brent.
Wow.
Jeez.
We don't have time for that, Brent.
I guess I would say too soon, but it has been 4 years. But at the time I've been like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? So like I was watching Vikings, the TV show, for the first time, like around the time I was ready, which was cool. So I was like, hey, cool, Ragnar, awesome. And they had a thing with where they're doing the Blood Eagle to King Aegle, and it was like,
oh
no, I have like a visual to go with this now too. So
yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just watched Midsommar, and they do that to a guy. Yeah,
you told me not to watch that.
Yeah,
don't watch Midsommar and read Dark Age at the same time. You might get suicidal. Like, I mean, that's like two of the most disturbing things I can think of right there. So, wow. All right. So, Yeah, I did. I mean, I guess it was kind of telegraphed. Of obviously, Cephi is not long for this world, but I guess I was kind of expecting like some big badass, like blaze of glory. No, you're dead.
Right.
Yeah,
it just shows how like formidable he is.
Yeah.
He's just like terrifying. How do you even?
Where's he going next?
He can like one of our best fighters can't take him out, and then
Are you talking about Cephi?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like he can take a bomb to the face.
Yeah.
It's problematic.
That's a problem.
I kind of want to see him and Apollonius throw down. I think that'd be pretty.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, Apple can go all invisible with his ghost cloak.
Yeah, he can read him some poetry and play violin to him too.
He's playing Harry Potter out there. Invisibility.
He was Harry Potter.
He was Harry Potter. The whole book.
Mercury. So I guess I'd sum up part 4 by saying there was a moment where I legit thought, after all that's happened in this book, am I convinced that Darrow's not dying? I mean, I was like, the sun horse and all that. I was like, shit, is he actually going to fucking die? Because I was like, that would be something I could see him do. Would be shocking, is that he kills off Darrow in this book. I really thought.
I think he would lose like half the readers.
Yeah, and when I talked to him, he did say that was the one name not in the hat is Darrow. Obviously, the story doesn't work without him. But I was saying that I did for a minute there think, am I sure that Darrow's safe?
He definitely makes you question it.
And by the way, he doesn't only kill people that are in the hat. He like has plans to kill people. The hat is just who gets randomly drawn.
I definitely know that I was feeling the terror for Darrow's life at the end of that book for sure. I was like, how the fuck is he going to get out of this? My man Cassius. That's how.
Dude, top 10 moment.
He's not good at.
Not kidding. Cassius.
We knew from Red Rising book 1 that Darrow's not good at riding horses. So
yeah,
there was never a moment where he could like get on a horse.
Freaking Lysander being sneaky too.
I love Thraxa though being Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah,
coming through all the walls.
Ben's brain must be overdrive with anticipation, waiting for the new book now that it's so close.
Pretty much.
And you just finished Dark Age.
I just finished Dark Age like
I have yet to reread it again.
So now I'm like, give me all the Red Rising content I can get.
There you go.
All right, that's a good question. Does anyone believe that Darrow did not have poison on his blade when he struck down the Love Knight? I think she was poisoned later by one of Atlantea's spies. You mean after she confesses to Lysander about what happened to her parents? And then she just, by the way, Darrow killed him. Sure.
Yeah, I would 100%.
I don't think Darrow uses poison.
Yeah, that's not his style. His style is meat carpet. That's his style.
Exactly.
His style. He's not a poisoner. Come on.
He was very upset when the Ash Lord was poisoned. He's like, what the fuck? We don't poison people.
Yeah, Darrow's he's the type that will rip your heart out of your ass. He probably thinks poison is a coward's weapon. There's zero chance, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And he's not like going around with poison on his blade. That's dangerous.
To me, that was like very surprising and naive of Lysander to just be like, oh, Darrow had poisoned his blade. It's like, come on, dude.
Don't you know him at all?
Atlantea,
he studied him in the Institute.
She literally has a snake around her neck.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be better than this.
Do I look like someone who'd want to trick you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand badass kid characters, but Pax and Electra are so freaking cool. I agree.
They're
iffy.
So...
I was iffy on Pax in Iron Gold, outside of just the fact that he was Darrow and Virginia's kid.
Yeah.
He was having some emotional issues with not having a father.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it a little bit, I think. But yeah.
He's very much like Mustang's child in this book.
Yeah.
I feel like you really see like
the thoughtfulness,
the Mustang,
calculating.
Yeah.
And Electra's very much Severus.
Just a little psycho.
Hatchet face.
Yeah.
So I think they tease it earlier that Apollonius offers an alliance and Lysander's like, nah, I don't want to do that yet. But now he does kind of like, yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
Kind of has to.
Better the devil you know, right? I think, but I don't know. It's just something about Atlantea. I think maybe it's the fact that she like screwing her nephew or something like that too.
Yeah.
And now she's screwing Lysander. I'm like, wow, you're
I feel like Lysander
also
goes
her nephew.
He gets like he's really smart throughout this entire book, but then at the end he's very dumb. Just like
that's what happens when you fuck your aunt.
Yeah, linking up with his aunt, so he's making an enemy out of Ajax, who's gonna try to kill him.
Yeah. And Ajax already is mad at him for childhood trauma.
Right. And then Atalantia is like a very slippery motherfucker. Why would you
She's
want to
a
get involved with that?
Slippery little
And
snake.
then you also are teaming up with Apollonius, who's like a complete firebrand wild card.
I love Apple.
Kind of unpredictable, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
like I don't know.
I
Those
wish
are
we
the
had
best
more Apple in
decisions.
this book. He's very much invisible. Hopefully he comes back
Somebody wants
more.
to know if you consider breaking into my place and taking my advance. No, I'm recording the audiobook for him right now. I'm gonna email him the audiobook when I'm done. Not
This
really.
is actually a set. We're in a hotel room right by Mike's house. I will be invading.
I can't believe you guys haven't gotten one. I don't know what's up in that galley. I don't know why they're not approving anymore.
We didn't try.
Oh, I tried.
I mean, I entered all the.
No, I've actually tried.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's the problem. I haven't tried.
When we were talking, he was like, "Did they approve you yet?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "All right, he's like writing down my address. Like, I'm gonna send you one right now." And he did.
Damn.
He's a very, very nice man.
I'll send you my address.
All right. I'm almost done. So yeah, sure. I mean, it's kind of beat up. It's kind of beat up a little bit. And it says to Mike on it. Is that okay?
We'll send it back.
What's that?
We'll send it back when we're done.
Oh, they said, what's in the back? I was like, I don't know. I'm afraid to look back there.
Don't open it.
That's why I'm glad that the dramatis is at the front, because a lot of these books, they have the dramatis or the glossary at the back. And it's like you always risk what I call a Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter got ruined for me that way, because when a certain character died in that book, she wrote it all in capital letters, and I was flipping through it, and I just saw the capital letters. You killed blank. And I'm like, yes, guys, it's like a 20-year-old.
Oh no,
go and do it. So I had that kind of ruined for me that way. So now I'm always like, nope, you don't put your stuff at the beginning. I'm just gonna have to wing it.
Have to wait.
Yeah.
Have to wing it. So that was Dark Age, guys. You felt like you needed a little bit of a shower after you finished Dark Age.
Wait, are we done? What happens at the end? Oh, Cassius.
Cassius comes, Lysander and
Severo's
Apollonius.
captured. Lysander, Apollonius.
Makes a deal with Apollonius.
Virginia goes back to Mars.
Virginia goes to Mars, does a fly around.
She does the
fly by.
Calandora tells him about his parents and the chair, and then she gets dispersed.
And the Moonies enter the fold. They take Earth, I think, at the very end as well.
The Moonies take Earth?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It's not in a chapter. It's just like mentioned by Pax.
Oh.
Virginia
is flying around.
And then Apollonius and Lysander talk about it.
Oh, yeah. They're sitting by the statues, fallen statues.
Yeah.
Bro time.
Harnassus. That's a good character. Yeah. There's just so many. There's so many characters. I think you just kind of get blindsided when you're going back. All you can think about is all the traumatic stuff that happens in this book.
Oh, I definitely thought Harnassus was like a giant bitch in the first part of the book, and then by the end of the book, I'm like, okay, I like you, Harnassus.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Yeah. So didn't he start out a red?
He was a red and iron golder,
and now he's an orange.
Yeah.
Diomedes is like the best thing. If you don't have Romulus, he's the best raw to have. I think Diomedes is great. Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
Diomedes is like who Cassius used to be.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Before
I wonder.
All of his family got
interesting
murdered.
to see what's going to happen with him. Like I know Mike probably knows already, but
who wins in a razor fight, Diomedes or Cassius?
Right now, Diomedes, but when they're both in their prime. I think they
know.
both lose.
I don't know. The way Cassius was wrecking shop in Iron Gold, I was like, shit.
Like,
I don't know if Darrow could beat him right now. Yeah. So
I feel like they probably end up both mortally wounding each other in some way.
Why not?
So
that's a cop-out answer.
I know, so I shall not speculate. But you fine folks, what are you hoping to see in Lightbringer, which is just about 30 days away now?
I'm hoping that Severo doesn't get brain diddled.
I think we're both I'm very much on a please let Cassius and Darrow break out Severo.
And have bro time.
And have a triple bro time.
Because we miss the Ragnar, Severo, Darrow threesome. So if we could have that, but with Cassius.
That's the number one thing on our list for sure.
You had the Volga, Lyria, Victra team up, and this is the girls' party. Now we need the boys' party. That's what we want, the boys' party. Okay. All right.
And hopefully if that does happen, Severo hasn't been
I just like that
altered.
That seems like that's almost like one step too far with the mind altering on Severo. That's either gotta happen and Virginia or Mustang fixes it, or if it does happen, like that ends up in his death, that's just going to be very dark and empty situation, I feel like. So I hope that does not happen.
Doom and gloom.
I'm really hoping that does not happen.
I hope that Volga makes some friends out wherever she's going. The Oculus. Isn't that where she's going?
She's going to Fa, and Lyria is going to
Lyria's
Oculus.
going to Oculus.
Yeah.
So I hope Lyria gets friends out there. Oh yeah, Volga. She's gonna be a secret spy and pretend to be on Fa's side and then kill him.
I don't know how she's going to do that, but
she's
that
gonna
is
do
part of what we are predicting as well.
Yeah. I hope Victra doesn't have to make any more long swims into the sunset.
I'm thinking there's
Hope
going to be
doesn't have any more babies.
Yeah,
Well, she needs Severo to do that.
that's true. I think there's got to be some kind of battle for Mars, or maybe that's not till like the next book. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
This might be more of a setup, and then
I hope Apple gets to run around naked some more. And I hope Lysander literally gets bitch slapped.
Literally. Who do you want to do the slapping? Oh, the bitch. Who do you want?
Ooh, Diomedes.
Diomedes.
Wow.
You want Diomedes to slap him? Okay.
Yeah.
Albert's
I feel
a little
like he
more wholesome
respects
here.
Diomedes.
He wants a Darrow, Virginia reunion.
that would be great.
Husband, low wife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
a
like
low
this.
husband, low wife would just melt my heart right now.
Daniel's paying attention to sword forms here. Cassius has the Willow's Way. We still haven't seen him fight. So, there you go. I mean, when it comes to these sword forms, I just flash back to Wheel of Time where I'm like, okay, crouching tiger, hidden dragon, whatever. Okay, cool. You're a good fighter. Just tell me who wins. That's all I need to know.
One thing,
make sure you have a boss line like Cassius does every time he kills somebody.
One thing I'm definitely looking forward to is just hopefully early on a lot of Darrow Cassius interaction.
Yeah,
for sure.
Some healing on Cassius's part.
I hope so.
I like asking Erin this. What happens to Severo at the end of Dark Age? I can't remember.
He's captured by the Abominatrix on Earth and Lilith, and
mess with his brain.
He's captured with Clown and Pebble, and then Min and some other Howlers get boiled alive in front of him in a wolf oven, and we think maybe he'll get brain diddled. Well, we don't know though.
Abominatrix does refer to the
pandemonium
I'm going
chair.
to do that to you. He says that, so.
But we don't see it happen.
All right, guys, I got these two celebrities on the show here. So there's your last chance to ask them some questions or comments or anything before we end this little reread. And then, after we've all had sufficient time, these slow pokes actually read Lightbringer. We can actually get together and talk about it, I hope. Are you guys going to be reviving the podcast and doing chapter reads?
Yes, we were actually just setting a schedule for when we're going to.
Now, are you going to do that on first read, or is that going to be a reread?
Reread always.
We'll do a reread, yeah. So
we'll have a few episodes before.
We're planning to do 3 episodes before Lightbringer comes out, and then we'll do a reaction pod once we finish it. So we'll definitely have like a full-on reaction to the book, and then a reread. Then a reread after that.
Show, but I've had you guys subscribed forever, and it's got a little moon next to it, which means inactive.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Inactive anymore.
Thanks to Pierce.
Yeah, but we'll be back. We'll be back.
We don't see the need to make content just for content's sake.
Yeah,
when nothing's going on.
We just didn't have a lot to talk about in Red Rising World until recently.
Yeah, you got that long of a wait because I know there was a lot of Song and Ice and Fire podcasts. When you talk about series, it took forever.
Yeah,
still do. You started getting almost like into fan fiction territory because there was nothing to talk about anymore. It's like, hey, what if this happened? What if Ned sat on the throne? Stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, now we're just getting into
exactly. We felt like we had covered everything that we could cover
multiple times
in every which way possible. But for people asking, we are planning to be releasing a new episode the first week of July.
So Volsum fought Blood Eagles, Sephi. That's how he kills
he wants to know who's going to end up returning the favor onto Volsum. I mean, it's got to be Volga, right?
I don't think you can Blood Eagle someone that big.
Yeah, when he's got like metal plates in his
porcupine.
Body. Yeah,
he's a porcupine. No, I think we're just going to need to like stick a bunch of things through him until he dies. Porcupine and back.
Yeah, most of it's when you guys coming back. So yeah, you guys are
First-
still loved. You know,
Very
you got to
soon.
worry about
Thanks,
that.
guys.
First week of July. Keep an eye out.
What razor do we think Darrow will use?
I was thinking about this too because when I just finished, I was like, Darrow's got a broken razor. Is he going to get a new one? I don't know.
What are our options?
Well,
What's
I feel like-
Cassius flying around?
I feel like he's going to have a borrowed one for most of Lightbringer. I don't think he's going to have like a definitive new razor until like maybe the end.
This is
That's
really
my
fun.
guess.
It's not like a wand. It's not like, I mean, he could just get a razor, right?
Right, but there's like good ones and bad ones and stuff.
Can he just hit up, I don't know, Glarastes? No.
There's like a famous Martian razor armor
Call
maker.
Virginia. Tell her to put in an order.
Yeah.
Telemanus could probably blood Ingolfa. Yeah. If Pierce put any of them.
Anybody could.
Well, we lost Daxo, and Kavix is an old man who's almost died.
Trax is still around though. She's rough and
She
tumble.
did lose an arm, but she can get a new arm.
Doesn't she already have a robot arm?
Oh, she did get an arm.
She got
Doesn't have
shot.
some
She
kind of
got
robot
shot
replacement
Oh,
four
she-
times,
yeah.
and she got stabbed through the stomach.
You know,
Scolds
of
have a good constitution.
how about
though.
we brain diddle Volsung Fa and then he blood eagles himself? Ah!
mind spike him? Definitely, we figured it out.
Doesn't Screw got Screw? Then he got some robot parts at this point.
Screwface?
feels-
Who?
Screwface?
He got a new face.
Well, he's the one that lost the leg.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Yeah,
He's no longer Screwface. He's now a pretty gold.
yeah. Now he's like a pretty boy.
I think that you might have to get in line, SP. There's lots of people who want this, but you know, I like I said, I found Ben and Erin back when I had no one else that was talking about this series. It's before I even really talked about it on the channel here. So yeah, this has been really, really cool for me to have you guys on. I really
Fun for us.
It's been an honor. Yeah,
Yeah.
we appreciate it.
We only really want to talk about the Red Rising books. So it's nice when someone also wants to talk to us about them.
Oh
that's
yeah,
true.
I mean, I say it's one of those things. It's it doesn't. It's getting better, but it's like for 4 years now. It's like that's been like the one series it really just I haven't been able to get. Like I gotta get a ton of people to read a lot of other series, but they're just like, I'm not really into sci-fi, or they're like, oh, I don't like dystopian YA, and I'm like, oh my god, YA, okay, sure, but
Sure, yeah. Some fucked up kids.
and no doubt that's a little intimidating because there are some things I'm like, I'm sure I'm going to say the wrong thing here, and Brennan's like, you even read these before,
Oh,
you know?
no,
But he's such a gentleman, he wouldn't do that. He definitely.
Ben really, and yeah, it's good for me since I have such a bad memory. I remember the feelings. but
That's
not
why
the
we're
facts.
a good team.
Not the facts.
Yeah.
You remember the feelings parts, and he remembers the facts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I can't wait to hear what you guys had to say, and I can't wait to eventually talk to you guys about this book.
Yes,
because,
we'll have to do it. for
I-
sure.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but I'm just going to tell you, you guys will not be disappointed.
Nice.
It doesn't feel
we,
like
we
a
never thought we would be.
book that was split up or anything. I know people have already been saying, does it feel like a book that was split up? I'm like, no, it doesn't. So
Well, you still have a little left.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll have to come back on here and talk about it. You'll have to come on HowlerPod and talk about it with us.
anytime, absolutely, please. I'd love to. It'd be great. It'd be great. I'd love to have Ben embarrass me in front of legions of howlers. It'd be great. I'd be like, wait, who? I couldn't even keep Ajax and Atlas straight. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
So
we'll
Atlas.
make a chart.
It's a lot of A's.
Especially when I'm reading Percy Jackson, my kid right now. It's got a lot of the same character names in it.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, that's
Ooh, they
good.
couldn't be more different either. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. And
Thank
we'll
you.
chat to you soon. I think they'd like to do their little sign off now.
Oh, also, we will be at HowlerCon. So if anyone else is going,
I was gonna go. I
Let's
found
hang
out
out.
that because Pierce Brown was like, "Yeah, you should come." I'm like, okay, you know. And so of course I'm gonna come, and then we're gonna be out of the country on our vacation,
Oh no.
so I can't. But
Well-
Madison,
Well, that's-
Madison will be there. She
Too
can.
It's not a
for
bad.
you.
It's not a bad
Madison
trade-off.
will tell you
You
all
mean
about
you're
how
not-
to be a Julie
you
eye
can't-
and to birth babies standing up. It'd be really
you're
cool.
going to be in Europe instead of in Tulsa on a Thursday.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'll be
Lame.
in Key West and on a private island in the Bahamas. Sorry. I mean,
Wow.
I'll struggle through it somehow. I'll struggle through it. But yeah, awesome. Can't wait to talk to everybody about this very, very soon. As you can tell, I'm very
Yes.
excited. And I think they like to howl or something before
Yes.
they go.
Let's get a howl in.
Omnisphere Lupus.
Ow!
Thank you, guys.